And I told them on my birthday, in June, that I was like, we're not doing he, we're not doing man, we're not doing gay. Like, and it was very freeing. And also it just was, it just was like, I wasn't like, I'm not, and it's very important, I think too, when you're, and I hate the term coming out, but I think when you're telling people, about who you are telling them. I'm not looking for acceptance. I'm not looking for your validation. I am telling you what's going down.
Breaking news! Carlos King.
Carlos King.
Your boy going viral again.
The godfather of reality television.
King.
Carlos King. Carlos King.
Hey, Raindrops. Thank you all so much who have subscribed to the channel. You guys have really helped spread the word, build this channel together, because, I can't do this without you guys. And I know y'all want me to interview a lot of people, child, but in order for me to do that, I need to make sure my subscribers match the millions of people who do watch my videos. So all you have to do, okay, is hit the subscription button. That's it. I ain't asking for much, child. And enjoy this video. Raindrops, on today's episode of Reality with the King, let me tell y'all something. We are here with royalty. And that's the motherfucking truth. Because, listen, this person has been in our lives for like almost 2 decades. And I'm so grateful and thankful that they are here so that we can like really get to know them. So ladies, gentlemen, gays and theys, give it up for the iconic EJ Johnson.
I can't with gays and theys. I love that.
I'm very inclusive.
That's very hilarious.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
You are stunning.
Thank you.
You are. I finally get to meet you.
Yes. We met almost a year ago now, only via Zoom.
Only via Zoom.
Yes.
And I fangirled a little bit. But now we're in person, and let me tell you something, baby. It's everything in person. It's everything. But how are you?
I'm amazing. I'm
you
fabulous.
look amazing.
Yeah. It's a great way to start the new year. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, we're in New York City, which is I'm hearing is like your new playground.
Well, it's my new home. I live here now. So I'm back. I was here. I went to school here, but like, my heart's here. Like, I have never had a love affair with LA. That's just the place I'm from. But like, me and New York have a relationship. We just broke up and then we got back together. Yeah. We both had to grow and like do our own things, but like now we're back. But like, New York's like my man. Like, we had to get back together.
Okay. All right. And now is it a monogamous relationship in New York City? You're not
No. I think like we're kind of like all over the place because I also love Europe. I adore Paris, and I'm sure at some point I'll live there too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But right now you're just like.
But right now I'm very happy to be here, and plus I'm only like 6 hours from Paris or London or wherever, so I'm good.
Good. Listen, I am so thrilled to talk to you because number one, listen, you don't do, I feel like, any interviews.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I mean, I was doing a lot of growing like in this time, but I was like, I think it's very important. I think especially for people who have like lengthy careers and they change and stuff, like it's very important to have some time to yourself. And so like, it's exciting for me to like get back out there as like the highest version of myself. And like, it's just been an exciting journey just in the past couple of months. And so like, I'm excited to have this like first interview and then like excited for some more after this.
So is 2026 about to be like the comeback of EJ Johnson?
Yeah, this is like the emergence of like Miss Thing. You know what I'm saying? Like she's back. But you know what? I will say that like EJ never really fully arrived until now. And I thought about that a great deal. In anticipation of this interview, but I was like, because I knew you were going to probably ask something like that. But to be honest, like EJ is fully here. Like I think before I was so young at that time, at the time of, being on E and all of that, when that first spotlight hit, I mean, I was like 20, like, I had a lot of self-work to do. And now after doing all of that and like, taking my time to really just to fall in love with myself, I'm like, oh, with everything, the balances are zeroed out. We're checking all the boxes, and like I'm fully here.
Yes, and I could tell that again, especially during our earlier conversations via Zoom, and I knew it was like the right time to have this conversation with you because I do feel like when it comes to you, which I give you so much props on, seriously, you still have this level of anonymity when it comes to, there's a lot of people, although, you had a reality show, you were on it for so many years, you still kept your private life fundamentally private. And there are just things about you that I feel like you always protected. And that's good because, listen, when it comes to the offspring of celebrity parents, you know this. You see some of the unfortunate things that occur with them. But I always felt like with you, you always did your best to make sure, to sort of protect your identity and really not just be out there for the sake of being out there.
Yeah, that never really interested me, to be honest. And like, honestly, like even when I was on camera, like I would fight the producers whenever they would push something on me that I didn't want to do or wasn't me. And they were like, oh, well, it doesn't matter that it's not you, because somebody in the middle of the in the middle of the country or somewhere randomly will get it. And I'm like, no, but I'm not doing it because I wouldn't do that. Like, this has nothing to do with some random person somewhere that's not here who's supposed to be laughing or understanding what you're asking me to do. That was never, I always had like a pretty strong sense of self and things that I knew I liked, that I wanted to portray, and like things I didn't. But, to be honest, it's like so much has changed even, since then. And like, even seeing these celebrities like cry and on, Instagram lives or, just like put so much personal business out there. And then they want to get mad when everyone's in their business and commenting on everything they're doing. And I'm like, but you let them in. And so I always keep a boundary. And like, there is nothing more, honey, in my life right now than the boundaries that are the most powerful. I don't care who you are. You have to keep your distance. If I don't know you like that, if we don't have some kind of a real fundamental relationship, you're over there. Like, I don't play that.
Good for you. It took me to be my 40s to get there. So kudos to you for already figuring that out.
I mean, it just like, I think I just like learned through experience, to be honest. Like, I had a lot of friends who I thought were my friends, over the past couple of years who had to go because they just like, so did not have the, the best intentions for me, not pure, totally wanted their hooks in. And like, I had to wake up and I had to get to work, and I just been like, okay, all of you have just got to go. Like, I'm not even playing. Like, I'm not even like, oh, maybe no, you gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah. I really want to go back a little bit because I want this interview to be just about you.
Yes.
Dude,
what else is there to talk about?
Yes, because I really just feel like when it comes to you, there's a lot of people who just don't know much about you. So I would love to spend this hour, with that intention.
Absolutely.
So who was EJ Johnson growing up? California, obviously your father is Magic Johnson, your mother is the beautiful Cookie, but like, you're the oldest. Who were you growing up in that world as a young boy?
Honestly, like it was very difficult. And, I talk about a lot about this, like with other people, growing up, in all the bougie, elite schools that I went to, and like all of the children that I went to school with in LA were, industry elite. So somebody's parent was always doing something, even if they just had money for the sake of having money. But it's very difficult to be born in someone's shadow. It really is. And like, no one talks about that right now. It's like, oh, like, the industry is glamorizing, the Nepo babies. And at the same time, demonizing it too, because then everyone is mad that like, they think that we all have like a leg up or something. But honestly, like, it is very difficult to come into the world, and what you want doesn't really matter because it really only matters what plays well for whoever the spotlight is on. Yeah. And that was very difficult to navigate as a child. And even as a young adult, honestly, it was weird. It definitely took a lot of time to just like find myself and all of that. And then just be like, okay, like, your spotlight is over here and mine is over here. And like, the only thing I have to do in this lifetime is focus and nurture me and what's going on over here. And you do that over there. But yeah, like that was a lot for the child. But like, like I was always just running around, prancing around in skirts and doing the most, as a kid. And like, I think I found a lot of, even at those young ages, I found a lot of security just like hanging out with myself, because like it was just like a very, awkward coming into my own and trying to find myself in the world that kind of like told me that like I wasn't allowed to like exist the way that I wanted to exist. So I gained a lot of self-confidence just like playing by myself, because like that's where I felt safest. And it ended up, ultimately like being one of my greatest attributes, because like now it's like I'm like this with myself, and like no, I'm unmovable, unshakable, invincible. You cannot upset me or do anything, externally, because I'm 100% right here.
When did you realize you were gay?
Pretty early on, honestly. Like I don't even I wasn't one of those people who ever tried to be straight. Like I talked to a lot of, like obviously the gayest that are, either that I grew up with or like ended up being friends with, but like I would say like 90% of them, had girlfriends or lost their virginities to women, and like I really never tried. Like it was it really, like, it wasn't an option. I don't think I would have taken myself seriously even at that young age, to be honest. Like I could never see myself as like dating a girl. Like I don't even think I could. That's what I'm saying. I couldn't convince myself to do it, so therefore I was like, girl, you can't convince the world to think that for you. But definitely like 11, 12.
Oh,
for sure.
Okay.
Like when, you start to have those feelings and stuff. But honestly, I think like the feelings were just so strong that like I just kind of like knew it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, probably like the 8th grade, like the summer before I went into high school, like I really like got serious with myself about it. And we were like, this is it. It's like, I don't know, like I just was kind of like, this is who we are. I remember that like very specifically, like just like taking like those last couple of weeks before I had to go back to school, and I was like, this is it. And then I felt so much freer. Like when I got into high school, like I just was like so much more like definitely coming into my own, because like at school, like I just like didn't care. Like I didn't hide it. I didn't pretend. Like everyone knew and everyone was cool, and it was cool.
And the first person you told was your mother, correct?
No,
In terms
my
of family.
friends. Definitely my friends.
Your
But no,
friends.
my mom kind of like interrogated me when I was like in 10th grade.
Do you remember what she was asking you?
We were on vacation in Hawaii, and she was asking me because like I had another friend who came with me, and he's also gay. Or I should say attracted to men. I don't really use those kind of labels on myself anymore, but we were just checking all the hot guys. I mean, we were doing what the girls do. They were everywhere, and we were, talking and looking, and she noticed. And then she was like, I think this is probably something we should talk about. Like, what's going on? And I was like, well, I think this is it. This is what I like, And I think she was like fine in the beginning, but then I think it took her some time after that. 'Cause like, she was like, it was just weird because it was, she had her church. So it was like a lot of going against like what she had been taught. And I think that for both of them, it was that kind of a struggle, because they were not people that know how to think outside the box. Like they're not, oh, this is new. Oh, this could happen. Or like, this is okay. Like, we can adapt. It was very like, they're very strongly like, okay, like this is how it is. And this is black is white. And this is this and that's that. And a lot of boxes. And so I think like I really came up against all of that, like, as in my coming of age story. And to be honest, like I never saw anything wrong with it. Like I never thought anything wrong with anything that I did. Like even when I was a kid and like they were like, well, you can't wear skirts. And I was like, well, why not? It's like my inner being was like, there's nothing wrong with this, especially if I look cuter than any girl does. Like, what's the problem? Like, what's the issue? And that's exactly how I apply it to myself to these days in the way that I present, like in my feminine regalia. I've always been a feminine being, and like that's just like how I best express myself. But I'm like, listen, I'm out all the time, and like I'm killing a dress and no one else is. Like the girls in the room are not doing it. Like they don't look cute. They're not dressed to any nines. So,
I love it. You know what's so funny? Because obviously, so our parents are from Michigan. So your story I can relate to. And again, I'm obviously much older than you. I could be your older big brother, but I can
I think
relate.
you're almost the age as my brother.
Oh.
Are you 40
Yeah.
something? Yeah, he's
Yeah. Okay.
40 something too.
So, you know.
Yeah.
So I get it, but I have this theory because my father, and I've said this publicly, and he's fine with it because I had to ask permission because I was like, I don't want you to think I'm gonna use my platform to blast you, and we're fine. But he was very, very much so like close-minded, born in 1949 in Detroit, Michigan, and was like my black son, and I'm one of 6. I have 6 brothers.
Wow.
And it's 10 of us total,
Wow.
right?
Oh my God, that's just like my dad's family.
So I'm saying it's so parallel. So he was just like, so I knew, unfortunately, that my femininity was not going to be accepted. And I have this theory about black mamas because I feel like black mama know they kids, child. And although I came out very late, I came out at 25.
That's not that bad.
Well, because well, nowadays, the girls are coming out, baby, at 7.
Yeah.
Right? which I'm like, go right ahead. But my mom, very sweet, rest in heaven, she was like, you sure? And I said, girl, you knew. And she was like, well, didn't want to assume. And she was like, you going to tell your dad? Because he's been asking about it ever since you were 5 years old. He asked me every year. And I'm like, I'm not telling him. So I didn't tell him until much later. But I can relate to you in terms of like having parents who just wasn't really sort of like, who got it. But when it comes to you, obviously, you're not just any kid. Your namesake says it all. Did you ever feel like the sort of like image you had to uphold being the namesake of your dad?
I think that's what they tried to teach me. That's what I was raised to believe that. But especially now, I'm free of all of that because like I said, it's like I've totally ripped myself away from anyone's namesake besides my own, And I don't even. E.J. Johnson specifically is the only person that I'm fully responsible for and fully looking out for, And that has given me so much peace. Like you have no idea. But I think in the beginning, especially like even when I'm stepping out into my own spotlight, it was still like a lot of that of trying to put me in that box as trying to make us like one unit. And like, I think I used to get really annoyed with that. And I hear about a lot of that, too, from other kids who are in the same predicament. And it weighs on them heavily mentally because it's like, you can't find yourself when you have to look at your own life through the lens of somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it was definitely like I was brought up to believe that, but I definitely ripped myself away from that and let him do him and I'm doing me.
How did you feel when TMZ outed you back in, I want to say it was like 2013? And because when you think about it right now, it's so inappropriate because...
Yeah, it's very funny. It's funny because it's like, it definitely looked at now would be like highly inappropriate. Like you could never out someone like that. You know what I'm saying? But to me at the time, it was just like, it just happened. Like, I don't know, like it was one of those overnight success moments. But like I was ready because I was living my life. So it wasn't like I was hiding anything. Like it wasn't scary in that instance to feel outed in that way because I was living my life to the fullest. Like I was like totally like out in the sun, doing what I do. So like that wasn't like, it didn't like hit me to the left because of that. I mean, obviously I would have liked to come into the public in my own way, would have been nice, but I don't even think about it.
That's good though, because I remember at the time, and again, this is back in 2013, which of course seems like ages ago, but it was such a big deal. And
that's also one thing I didn't understand. I was like, why is this such a big deal?
It was, so you, well, and again, I'm glad that you have distanced yourself from that moment, but I remember, and again, in 2013, look, I believe I was openly gay. Like, I think I was actually.
I think according to your math, you would have been.
Right. I'm like, I think I was. But I remember being like, Wow, this is number one inappropriate. But I also remember
That's really interesting that you picked up on that. Because I feel like nobody did that until later, I think.
And I think a lot of it for me is being in the Black community and just knowing how dangerous at that time it was for us, because I grew up at a time where, being outed, it is dangerous because if you're not ready, you can't deal with the ramifications that comes along with it. So I just remember looking at you.
Even the people who did it on their own accord never went much further in their careers at that time, especially those athletes. Like they were like, okay, and then wiped away.
That's
like
true.
completely and
I didn't
utterly.
think about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that basketball player.
Yes.
And that football player.
Yes. I remember.
They were like, oh, you think you're gonna play after this? No. Like, totally dismissed. Because I've met both of them. Both of them were very nice, but it was like they had that 5 minutes, but it's like, the industries didn't allow that to continue.
No, especially back then. I mean, look, I think even like now with the show Heated Rivalry, have you seen it?
I saw the first episode. Yeah.
You didn't watch.
It was a little, I mean, like, it was a little like soft core for me. Like, I was like, okay. I mean, I think it's like cute for the culture for sure.
Mhm.
Like, I think, especially like the young kids, like they love things like that. Cause I used to watch that I watched the Heartbreaker series on Netflix, which was so cute.
Mhm.
But then I was like, and then like, what was the Victor? The one on Hulu?
Oh, with like Love Victor.
Love
something.
Victor, yes, yes. And I was like, oh, this would have been great.
Yes.
When I was that age, like to have that as a kid, a teenager, or like a young, a kid, like would have been so nice. But I only I had oh my God, Noah's Ark. That came out when I was like 12 or something, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it. It was so pivotal.
Yeah, shout out to Patreon Poe.
Yes, I love him.
No, he and I are friends, and I said to him too. And at this time, I want to say I'm in my 20s, and I just remember being like, finally, there's something. And that's why when I saw you in 2013, I felt for you, and I felt how inappropriate TMZ was, but I also said, bitch, work, because baby, fashion, the labels.
I don't even remember what I was wearing.
And it was something in black, but you know what it was? You, even then, I mean, you have it now still, and I love that it never dissipated. You always just had this extreme confidence about yourself. And I was always curious, like, where did that come from? Because again, for a lot of Black gay men who try to be themselves, we don't have that confidence oftentimes. But then for you, I'm like, he's in the spotlight, and you to me, you owned it, and you grabbed that torch, and you haven't like blown out the fire ever.
I don't know. I think I like I said, I was like, I think I spent, when I was used to hang out with myself a lot, I'm just saying, like, I really, really got to see myself fully, which is such a powerful gift. And right now, I mean, like, and even now, it's like I see myself like completely clear. Like they have that saying where they say, other people can see you better than you can see yourself. But like when you can see yourself better than everyone else can see you, you win.
Mm-hmm. And
I think I always felt, and I always saw myself better, and like in my truest form, kind of a little bit better than everyone else. Now it's like completely better. The clarity is like through the roof. But at that time, I was still, quite young. But yeah, like, I mean, I enjoyed being fabulous. Like when I was in college, that was my college time. And like we dressed up and we went to the club and we went to the, the most fabulous parties. And that's just like, who I was. Like, that's just who I always loved to be, and like, that was just very like, of that time. And, I mean, you need the confidence, definitely needed the confidence to survive, Now you can just have it. But at that time, it's like you really needed it to like survive for sure. Because otherwise, like, everyone was just going to like walk all over you or, like make fun of you or do whatever. And, I think it's just really important to, to do that self-work, to find yourself, especially when, you know, you're not living in a conventional way or the way like society says that you should.
Is that when the E producers called you to do Rich Kids of Beverly Hills around that time?
It was a little bit later. But that happened really by chance. Like I actually that same night, I believe that was the first night I met Dorothy, and that a couple months later, I think like over the summer or something, like she was like, "Oh, we're having this pool party. Do you want to come?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then she's like, "Oh, but we're filming a television show." And I'm like, "Okay." Like cool. So like I went to her house and they mic'd me. And we just shot this pool party. Like I honestly, again, I wasn't thinking anything. I didn't even remember what I was saying. Like, they were asking us to talk about our, like our glamorous summer vacations. I think we had us, they set us by the pool and we did one scene where we were like all talking about our summer vacations. But to be honest, like I wasn't in, like the bigger parts of the pilot. This was the pilot of the scene. So like I really didn't think. And then they called me a couple weeks later and they were like, "Oh, do you want to like be a series regular?" And I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. Like I wasn't a part of this. Like I just came as a guest." And that's how it happened. But it was kind of like, one of those just like random chance things.
Did you have aspirations to be in the spotlight?
I was exploring. I had met with a couple of like networks and stuff at the time. So I was definitely exploring that because like I remember like when I used to watch like the Real Housewives, like I remember like I think Beverly Hills performed came out like while I was in college. And I think my friend and I were watching it and I was watching it, and after it ended, I looked at him and I was like, "Bitch, I can do that." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "I can do that. Like I can do that better than any of these bitches. Like I can fucking do it." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Yeah." And then literally like it just ended up happening. It just manifested for myself.
That's Kim Kardashian's story.
Oh, is it?
Not with Beverly Hills, but she watched The Real World. So mind you, it wasn't like a job or a career, right?
Right.
But she watched The Real World and she told her friend like, "I'm going to be that." And her friend was like, "What is that?" She said, "Whatever they're doing, being regular on TV and famous, I'm going to do that." And we see where she's at now. So you watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I'm assuming Lisa Vanderpump was in the... was she a part of it?
No, she was there. Because this was the very first.
Yeah.
This was the very first season. Yeah. But she and Adrienne Maloof were her neighbors in Beverly Hills. So like I was like, I wanted to watch because I knew that, the neighborhood was going to be on it.
Was that your neighborhood too?
Yeah, I grew up in the same. My parents live there, like in the same neighborhood in Beverly Hills. That they don't live there anymore, but at the time they did. But yeah, her and Kyle and all those people were hilarious. But yeah, like I literally did that. I remember vividly. We were sitting there and it ended, and I literally was like, "I can do that shit." And then it happened.
I love the manifestation of all that story.
I know.
So when you did Rich Kids of Beverly Hills, did you feel like, okay, this is my time to like show the world who I am and, for me to venture off into like my newfound profession?
Truthfully, I really did not overthink it at that time. It kind of just was like, it was here. I was like, I'm going to take the advantage of it. Because you have to remember, this was way before the brand deals and, all the products. And like, this was way before any of the bitches were doing any of that. So like, it wasn't as strategic because you were just kind of seeing like, well, what, and even like my managers and, agents at the time, it was very much like whatever sticks works. Whatever box they put you in, that's who you're going to be. Like, that's, like it was very up to the industry. This was not like, oh, I'm going in here with the game plan. This is who I am. This is what I want to do. Da, 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 da. No, that's now. That's how you play the game now. But then it was all about whatever you throw at the wall and whatever sticks. That's how it works. But like I came in and they were like, "Okay, well, you're the peacemaker. Like, you're the mother hen. You're the one who's going to get all the bitches together when they're all fighting and doing all these crazy things." And I was like, "Okay." Yeah, I was like, I guess that's what I'm doing.
How old were you at the time?
The first season, I think I was 20.
Wow.
I think I was 20, and I think I turned 21 that summer, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think it came out the following fall, I think, or somewhere in there.
To be 20 years old on this show.
Yeah, to be 20 years old on the show was like crazy. But it was fun. It was fun at the time. It was fun, you know, and I think we made it look, you know, fun and glamorous, and it was just new because like they had, all the networks had been desperate to find like the kid version of the Real Housewives, like the young version, and we were that. And then also they were trying to capitalize on Instagram because Instagram, you know, all the rich kids of all that Instagram, you know, they wanted to turn that into something because that Instagram was like huge at the time. And so it was like both kind of those things like came together. It was like just one of those like full circle moments. And I just happened to be in the mix. But yeah, it was cute. It was cute. Well, it lasted.
And then you had your spinoff, EJ in the City.
Mm-hmm.
Were you at that time excited about the possibility of being like, a bitch has his own show?
I think it was important. Definitely. We were definitely ahead of our time. Way ahead of our time. Like,
well,
oh
I knew
God.
that watching it.
It didn't hit me until I rewatched it like maybe a year or two ago. And I was like, girl, of course, like, you know, this couldn't have continued because you were talking about things like we were talking about being gender fluid and non-binary before that was even like a term. Like I was like, oh, but you hit on that. Cause I was the one who wanted to push that, you know, that episode we did where I went to see the gender therapist and we discussed it. I was like, because like, I feel like this is an important thing to discuss. Like, I'm not just here to run around in fabulous outfits, even though the outfits were amazing, especially for like 23-year-olds. Oh my God. Shut down. But anyway, I was like, it's important that we talk about this because like I'm also trying to figure it out. And I was like, that's the truth.
Yeah.
You know, that was actually my truth. And I love that part of it because like that was actually out of all of it, I think was like the most truthful part was actually like mirrored my reality. Cause I really was trying to figure myself out and like that scene reflected it.
Do you, are there pronouns that you go by today or how do you identify your sexuality?
I just say, call me EJ as much as possible. Okay. You know, it's like pronouns. I don't really like he, but like, I've also trained myself not to get upset when other people use it, which I think is very important. Because you're giving your power away when you lose it. You know, you give words too much of personal power. You know, they is fine, you know, whatever. She is cool. Like I'm really not a stickler about it. I think for me, it was really just going on the journey to make sure that I wasn't like spinning out of control. Mm-hmm. Like when I'm being misgendered, when especially a lot of the times people don't do it with an ill intention. Some people do.
And I feel like you know when it's ill intended. Yes. There's a tone.
Yes, there's a tone, and they'll keep repeating it.
Yeah,
they'll keep saying man or bro too many times, and I'm like, I'm not your bro. Like, you know, but it's usually just somebody you're never going to see again, so who cares? But yeah, like I said, I was like always a deeply feminine being, and like, you know, that's really all that matters to me. You know, it's like I'm extremely happy in this body. Like I love my skin. I love waking up and being me every day. Like it's a beautiful thing. Like to walk into the, you know, bathroom and see yourself in the mirror and you're just like that bitch. Like, yes. Mm-hmm. Like it's that for me right now. And so like, you know, I'm just living it, you know, I'm just loving it.
One of the biggest storylines on your spinoff was, you know, you and your sister liking the same guy.
Honestly, that is ultimately what got the show picked up. But also, you know, in terms of the gender and sexualities and stuff like that, it was very important because that happens, you know. I don't attract gay men and I'm not attracted to gay men. Like, it's just not a thing.
Tell me more about that.
You know, I think like if you ask any of the girls, like they'll tell you the same. And I think they're just labels, you know, that's why like, I don't care what, you know, like I'm dating someone. I'm like, I don't care what you identify as or what you call yourself, as long as you're happy being who you are. But no, but to be honest, it's like that's why I don't really go to, I don't go to gay clubs. I don't go to, gay things, because it's like the men that I attract are not there. And also like they're like, they kind of like wave you off. You're just like, oh, that, hey girl, like, it's not, you're not in here like the rest of us are. It's just, it's always, but I never really understood it until now, because before when I would go and I just was like, there's something about this room. It's like, it's almost like they don't want me here. Like I'm not really in it here because I'm not presenting as a man. I'm not presenting in that way.
And to be clear, the gay community room.
Yeah.
Of your own community. Yeah.
But it's not like a shameful thing or just like, oh, they're mean to me. But it's like, these are not my men in terms of attraction. Now, if I'm just going to have a kiki, sure. But like, these are not the men that are interested in me in that capacity. I do that when I go to the straight rooms.
So. So has it always been that way for you in terms of when it comes to men? Has it always been what some people consider the straight guy always being the one that would approach you?
Or somebody who, has been intimate and dating, women for most of their life or like up until then. For sure. Absolutely. It has always been that way, but now it's like even more so. Now that I definitely present in more of a feminine way. Because also like it's like my energy is that.
Have your newfound, not newfound, that's wrong to use. Has your sort of like, I like to call it a rebirth, because I feel like even talking to you now, you're like you said earlier, look, I know who I am. I love how I see in the mirror. I am shedding all of whatever I was there back then, who I am now. Has that cultivated a stronger relationship with your parents, or has it been challenging for you there too, just being, how you are now?
No, definitely not challenging. I think everything, honestly, in this era of my life has become so much easier. But even I told them on my birthday, in June, that I was like, we're not doing we're not doing man, we're not doing gay. Like, and it was very freeing. And also it just was, it just was like, I wasn't like, I'm not, and it's very important, I think too, when you're, and I hate the term coming out, but I think when you're telling people, about who you are telling them. I'm not looking for acceptance. I'm not looking for your validation. I am telling you what's going down. And yeah, we had that conversation, and it was, it was very easy because I just told them, flat out, like I was like, this is, who I am, and this is how we're moving and grooving and going forward. And, even like son, I was like, the world tried to give me that label, like Magic Johnson's son. And I was like, well, he's dead. And now there is Miss Thing. Like, we're not doing that either. So, it wasn't like a big conversation, but I think what I loved about it was so easy, because we just said it and they were like, oh, okay. We'll do our best to understand that.
I'm beaming right now.
Yeah.
I think you could tell, because I'm so proud of you. Not that you need me to say that, but I feel like you're freeing a lot of gay, or however they, like, because I agree with you, is however you identify yourself. But I wish growing up I had someone like you.
I think we all wish, at least we all wish somebody was there, It doesn't matter who it is, like somebody to say something. Because like, especially between our years, like we didn't have anybody.
No, and that's why this conversation to me is so important, because people can watch this and say, finally, someone's saying something how I feel, because I got little, like, the hairs rose up on my skin when you said, I don't want to say coming out anymore. Like, this is who I am, and I don't even need your acceptance. Like,
I think it's important. It really is an important part of the discussion that no one, I don't think, is talking about. But like I said, you have to, if you're going to do something, do it for yourself, number one. And number two, when you go out, like, I think that's when everyone gets hurt, you know, it's like, or everyone, you know, has those traumatic experiences because they're hoping, they're searching for the validation, or searching for the acceptance. And like, sometimes it doesn't come. And that's also okay. Like, if you need to be like, leave your home or leave your family, like whenever it is safe for you to do so, go, you know, it's like, and also too, it's like that the idealized family, like, it doesn't exist. It is what you make of it. Like, you don't have to stay if everyone's treating you poorly. You know, you don't have to be involved if you're not getting what you need. You don't have to do anything, you know, honestly. And yeah, you know, and I think like the image of, you know, my family was nice and healing for the world, but it wasn't like I didn't struggle, you know, there wasn't difficulties to get there, you know, in terms of getting to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that also too, it's like, you can't just like wipe away, you know, just like understand that, like, you know, sometimes they're there and then sometimes they're not. And that doesn't make it doesn't make your story any less, you know, powerful. If you weren't given, you know, if those, you know, people aren't going to stand behind you
Yeah.
and give you that love that you need, then go find some other people who will.
Yeah. I've always wanted to ask you this because obviously, like I said, you're the offspring of a legend that is in that was in a sport that is heavily male dominated, obviously, and just like, you know, the locker room talk and
masculine.
Yes, hyper masculine. And I just remember, you know, when you emerged and all of the talks about, like, you know, oh my God, Magic Johnson's son, instead of playing a basketball, he's wearing a dress and all those things. And a lot of it obviously was from the Black community. When it comes to the Black community, especially the gay Black community, did you feel like they accepted you?
Well, again, I wasn't really looking. Like, there was just so much, you know, that happened at that time that I wasn't like looking. Like, I don't care about to be accepted in a community or to be a part of a community. You know, I think that I just wasn't in it. Like, I wasn't a part, you know, when I was living my life, you know, growing up, it's just like, I was, you know, I had school and I had all these places and I had my friends. It's like, if I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know, these communities or these people are mad. Like, I'm like, let them be mad. But like, you know, like, I don't, you know, it's just like, I really could care less. That's all I have to say. You know, it's like, even when people were like, oh, you know, I think somebody asked me like, oh, well, what did your church think? Well, I was like, well, number one, I never had a church. Like, my parents went to church, but like, I didn't go because I wanted to go. I wasn't a part of that community. I was there because I was made to be there. Like, you know, it is what it is, but it really doesn't matter. Like, who cares? Like, if your community is mad, then let them be mad. But I've always thought that was just stupid, that they thought that, like, you know, I was supposed to be playing basketball or something. Like, first of all, like, do you know how difficult it is to become an NBA player? Like, number one, it's like, it's a very hard process. And like, if I wanted to do that, then I would have done it. But like, why are we even having this discussion? It's just so ignorant, you know? And like, it's so, you have to put in a lot of work to do all of that. Like, I'm sure LeBron James's son, I mean, like, you know, he's been playing his entire life, like, and now he's playing, you know, he's in the NBA. But I'm like, that's something you would decide very early on in life. And like, why are we talking about, you know, that has nothing to do with me. Or even like, you know, I've always, you know, when it, you know, oh, well, Black men need to be this and need to be, you know, macho and need to be this. And it was okay. Well, okay, what does anyone's femininity have to do with that? Who's stopping you from being this macho Black man? Me or you? Because, you know, you're snapping your fingers in the air. What is stopping you, sir, from continuing to be you? What does you and me have to do with each other? Nothing. It doesn't make any sense. And I always would laugh if I saw that. I mean, I don't read any comments or articles, but like, at that time when like people were bringing it to my attention, I was like, well, what a stupid thing to say, because I'm like, I'm not hindering you from going on and being some toxic masculine Black man. Like, I don't even know you. And it doesn't say anything about what it means to be a Black man in America. Has nothing to do with it. I'm not a man. So like, I don't even feel like a man. So I'm like, why, what's stopping you from going on and doing exactly what it is that you think you should be doing? Nothing at all.
Preach, honey, preach. What were your thoughts when you saw what Dwayne Wade's now daughter was going through? Transitioning into becoming the woman that she is now. Was it something that you could relate to? Did you reach out? Did you have a conversation?
We've met, I think twice. Not in any kind of like real like intimate setting, but just like, at some fashion events, I believe. And I've met obviously Dwayne, and I think we spoke on Instagram, and we're just like, if she needs anything, like, you can definitely let me know. And she went to my high school as well. So yeah, we have some similarities, but I mean, it was just one of those things where it's like, more power to you. You got to do what you got to do. It's one of those things where it's like, there's nothing really I can say or do, because like that's your journey.
Yeah.
And they also said some horrible and stupid things about her, and the same thing, there were so horrible, stupid things they were saying about me. So it's like, here we are again. But it's like, it's like, that's why you see when you narrow it down, it's like, I'm not going up against anything that I actually really need to be concerned about, because these are all everybody else's fears and everybody else's, concerns and everybody else's viewpoints of the world that are being challenged by somebody living their truth or living their life the way they want to live it. Like, it's just absurd. It's just absurd. But I'm happy that she's happy. And I'm not sure what she's doing with her life at this point, but I wish her the best.
Yeah. Are you dating now?
I am outside. I'm definitely outside. I had to get a little more serious though, I think, in this new year for sure. I think before I was kind of just like enjoying myself and kind of just like dating to date, but now I'm being much more strategic about it. And it's like, if we're not actually going to enter into a relationship, then, and I think that's where you have to put the boundaries up with the so-called straight guys, because they'll just try to like put you off to the side or like keep you in the dark. And like, I'm not living in the shadows anymore.
Have you ever dated somebody that was DL?
Sure. For sure. I think at the time it's just like you just are like, oh, well, I'm just trying to be respectful, but really you're not doing yourself any respect.
Were they married?
No, I've never dated a married man or anybody in a relationship. Okay. It's just like they just weren't ready to come to terms with whatever they were doing. But that's what I was saying. I don't need you to come out or anything, but it's like, I'm not going to be hidden. So there's that, and just having that self-respect and just, knowing that. But it's made everything a lot easier, for sure.
Have you ever been in love?
I think like probably at the time I thought so, but not like now that I'm actually like emotionally available and actually can fall very hard in love if given the opportunity, not in the way that I want to. I haven't experienced it in the way that I want to. So like that's definitely something I put into the energy for this year for sure. Because I'm ready. I wasn't ready before, and I think that was just kind of like the maturity of it, and just like looking outside, instead of saying like, well, why hasn't this happened to me? But it's like, you weren't ready.
Yeah.
You weren't ready at all.
Do you have a type?
I don't really have like a strict type. I will say like, I know I'm tall, but like I do like being with a tall man. Yeah. That I do. I like the sensation of that. But I'm also like very like intellectually inclined. Like I love a man who can hold himself and like speak well and like is entertaining and is like really highly intelligent. Like I'm a conversationalist like that. So like that kind of like, especially, and also like a man with like a presence. Like I love a powerful presence. Like when you're like, ooh, he has it like that. Like, I like that.
Have you ever dated like a celebrity?
I've never dated a celebrity, I don't think. I may have like hooked up with one or two in the shadows.
Rappers?
Mm, I can't tell you all the all the tea.
Okay. I know, baby. I know.
I don't think there was a rapper. Might have been.
Because listen, no, because look, you, baby, the places I go, you ain't there, honey, because you are at the like.
Well, that's the thing about, like, so she was having celebrity crushes. Like, you can't do that because I actually do meet these people. So, like, and I've done that before, but like, oh, he is so fine. And then I meet him, I'm like, oh, like, oh no, like you are, very insecure, or you're very this, or you're very that. So it's like, I don't crush or glamorize anybody anymore because it's like, I always end up, just being like, okay, no.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm just like, I'll just meet the person when it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's different when you are, coming into contact with the people all the time.
And the thing about you have a presence.
I love having a presence, but I like a man with a presence as well. Like I like feeling somebody's like powerful masculine energy. Like it's very intoxicating. But I do have a powerful presence, which intimidates a lot of men,
Yeah.
which is great. But because it keeps the ones at bay. But that's why I can't do the apps because I can't gauge your energy through the phone. That's why I tried, but it's like I felt like they were so insecure, and just like it just like was not the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very important that I can gauge someone's energy when I meet them in person, because presence is important.
Well, and you have tons of it.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
You really do. I know you in a room, EJ. I know you be. I can already tell. The moment y'all lock eyes, it's over. Because you have you have a very smoldering like look in the eye, and I know you can eye fuck like a motherfucker.
I think they do that to me first, and then I might like glance back. But like that's how I always know when some man is because I always catch him staring, and then he like goes back. But like I always catch them staring. Like it's like because they're just like. And then I'm like looking over, and then they're like, "Oh, and then they go back." But like, I always catch them when they're staring. I always know because they like literally freeze. It's like Medusa, like they just like turn to stone. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see if he makes his way over here.
Do they have to, or
it's? I need you to make an effort because it's like every time I feel like when I go over and I'm like. Because I played the game where I like find something stupid to compliment them about, even though like I'll be like, oh, I like your jacket, even though their jacket is ugly, and I'm, and then it's like, I feel like I get over there and then it's like and I'm like, I don't have time for this. I don't want to do all the work. I'm not going to do all the work. I'm not even going to say I don't want to because I'm not going to do it.
Okay, so tall, masculine, available.
Yes, very available. Yeah,
confident.
And I need you to like yourself, to love yourself. People are so mean to themselves these days.
I know, because of social media. Everyone's sort of like comparing themselves to people.
Yeah, it's
unfortunately.
I met some guys who are just like so mean to themselves. I'm like, Jesus, like.
Now you are EJ fucking Johnson, so do they have to have a coin?
Well, I need to be taken care of, obviously. I mean, if I could.
I mean, but EJ, you got money.
If I could. Well, I'm not taking care of anyone. Like, I'm not a sugar mama. No, like the girls, you don't marry to take care of him. Like, he's marrying to take care of you. I mean, it just depends on what you want, but he's not marrying into my system. We're getting married and starting our own system. It's different. But I have to be clear about that. But like, I don't want to be like, just only thinking about money, but like it is something that I guess a lot of people spend time like obsessing over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But honestly, again, it's not like I'm looking for that. But again, it's like you said before, these are the rooms I'm in. So everyone's either born into a
Capable.
coin
Yeah.
or made their coin. The coins are there. The rooms are made of coins. So it's like, I don't have to like go out of my way to find financially substantial men. That's all I'm saying.
What are your thoughts on this? Like you touched on it a bit earlier, the whole like Nepo baby. And listen, and I've said this publicly, there's nothing more than I love seeing rich black kids. Because I feel like, I feel like good, because you don't see it often. And when you see it, and I feel like it should be celebrated more. I love rich black kids because I'm like, good. Your parents work their asses off. You have a good life, and take that shit and continue to build the generational wealth. But obviously, there's another side globally where people do feel like you didn't earn this, and listen, let's call it out. A lot are jealous, and a lot of them just feel like it's easy for you guys. What are your whole thoughts on that?
Well, like I said, it's not easy. It's like, it's not easy. Because I'm just saying either way, like I was saying about the shadow, it's like the same complaint or the same difficulties arrive even if your parents are not even famous, they're just very wealthy. Like you still have a shadow to work under. And like I didn't even realize that. But like I was talking to a guy whose dad was, they're older money, but like also his dad was like, a very well-known producer. And he was like, I hate it. I hate when everyone is like, oh, like I worked with your dad and he was great, or I did this with your dad and he was wonderful. He's like, I hate it. I can't stand it. And I was like, well, why does it bother you so much? And he's like, because like I have my own things going on and nobody wants to talk about that. We're just talking about this. We're just talking about him. And I was like, yeah, I used to feel that way until I, had to get, I put myself first in my own life. And then it didn't matter what anyone's saying to me on the street, But I mean, yeah, listen, it's one of those things where it's like the double-edged sword. Like you can't win. You can't win because on one hand, you get the people who are like, oh my God, that's great. You have all this money and you have a leg up, or you can do whatever you want. But like, then you have the people who are like, well, you didn't work. Well, you didn't, especially like, the actors, like those kids who come from, who have huge parents are huge actors, like they can't catch a break. Because on one side, everyone's loving it. On the other side, we're like, oh, well, you're taking roles away from people who've worked many, many years to, be an actor. And now you're just coasting on, riding it on some coattail. But it's like, that's something I can't control. I can't control who my parents are. Like, I didn't control who my dad was. Like, I just was born and that was it, So it's like, it's all you get it from both ends. But like, I don't really think about it. But I, for myself, even as I'm like, acting is definitely on the top of my list for this year to get into way more of. But like in my time off, I've been in acting classes and I told myself, I was like, you're going to need to like really train because they will say that about you.
Yeah.
They will be like, oh, you're only here because. And there were kids in my acting class who said that. Well, you don't really need to be here. You don't really have to do this.
They would say that today.
I mean, like in my acting class when I was there, they were like, oh, girl, you don't have to be here because like, you'll get booked regardless. You'll do, you already have it made. And I'm like, yeah, but like, number one, being booked to just get booked is not my goal. Like, I want to be great. And that's why I'm here. But also because like, I want to do the work. It's like, I want to be the best I can be. This has nothing to do with just riding a coattail. If I really believed that, then I wouldn't be here. I would have just been calling all our connections and agents and all of our friends who, our family friends who are producers or in the industry, like, but I didn't do that, so it's like, it's just one of those things that like you can use however you want to use it. If use your connections if you want, and then leave it, because it's like, it doesn't matter what the public is thinking, because they're always going to be those two sides of the street. Yeah.
Listen, and I'll say this public, so I don't give a shit. I want more black Nepo babies to use their connections. Because the thing is this. Listen, historically, the white kids did it, and I'm not. And let's be clear, I'm not mad at it. Do it, but I do feel like when it comes to our community,
So you think that they're not using it?
they are using it.
No, the black kids though. You think they're not using their connections?
I feel like the thing is, they're not using it and being like, fuck you. Like, have no
Okay.
fucks to give if you are. Like, for example, Lori Harvey, who obviously is Steve Harvey's daughter. And she recently appeared on the Hulu show Reasonably Doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Reasonable Doubt.
I read about that.
And did a great job. Like, did a wonderful job. But to me, it's sort of like, sure, did she get a leg up? Abso-fucking-lutely. Like, we're not going to pretend like that wasn't the case. But in her defense, everybody, EJ was like, oh, this bitch can act. And they were pleasantly surprised by it, right? And she did an interview, I believe it was on The Real Jennifer Hudson, and she acknowledged that, look, he is my dad. I get it. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. I think for me, it was just like one of those things that's like, listen, you can book me on a role because of my last name. Like, that is completely your right. The casting directors, the producers, or whatever, you can book me however, for whatever reason you want to. But it is my responsibility to give an unforgettable performance, to give a powerful performance that is remembered, and so they can say, oh, that bitch really can act.
Yeah.
That's my job. So I did my part. Like, I've done the work, like, I'm confident in my skills and my talent. So therefore, when the camera starts rolling, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Now and in the comment section, you can say whatever you please. Like, that's on all of you. But it's like, again, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
It's like, he is my dad, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, same thing in her case. It's like, what do it's like, people just need to be mad about something, to be honest.
Oh, 100%.
It's like, everyone needs, they always have to be mad about something, Shale, in the comments. Like, it's very sad. I feel sad for those people. I really do.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's just like, wow.
So so the goal for you in 2026, you're in acting classes. So movies, TV shows, you want to do everything.
Yeah. I've been training since like 2018. So it's been like 7 years now, or 8 years now. So yeah, I've just gotten to the point where I'm ready to handle bigger roles and bigger opportunities. But yeah, definitely television, movies. Like, I've got my eye on a couple of projects that are casting currently and soon. And so I'm just going full force. I'm just like super excited about it.
Do you know what I see you doing?
What?
All's Fair. I see you being like a paralegal.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No, I didn't watch it.
Okay.
No, I mean, some people like it.
Oh, I love it. It's camp. But I'm saying
It's very campy.
I see you, baby, being a paralegal, and you are like that paralegal who was like very stern, and the fashion's there, and I love
this character already.
No, so Ryan Murphy, please take it. But like, I see you being like how Diane Carroll was.
But that's my character. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be the Dominique Devereaux of like some show.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we need that. We need it. One place where we really do need it. We need it on White Lotus. We need a rich black bitch, like, really badly. Like, we need that. I mean, come on.
Yes,
I love Natasha. Love it that she was working there. I'm glad she added color, but we need the rich black bitch, like, really badly.
Because they exist.
Because they exist. But, I think that they're afraid because they don't know that world, because there's so few of us in the world who actually, like, really move and groove in that way.
Did you feel like that growing up? Like, were there a lot of black kids in the schools you would go to or vacations?
Yeah, I mean, like, there was a few, but it's like, number one, it's like we all knew each other, like, growing up, especially like, like a lot of us, especially the ones who were like in the same age group, like, like we all kind of grew up together. So even if we didn't go to school together, like, we knew of each other. Like
the Wayans or like?
The Washington kids and I are like close in age. Denzel Washington.
Oh, yeah.
So I grew up with his daughter, Olivia. We're like a year apart. the Jacksons, Samuel Jackson's daughter is a couple years older than me. Like we're very close. Like, you know, like I grew up with all of those kids.
Okay.
And also like some I came to know later, but like it's honestly like this.
Yeah.
And like I said, like we all know each other. We all know the players. Like, you know, if you know, everybody goes to everybody's birthday parties and like events and stuff, but it's like it's a very small community. But it's like I just, you know, the writers and the producers, like they just don't know, you know. And I think we've always just like missed the opportunity for rich Black people, affluent Black shows, and like I want something so badly.
Yeah.
Like every time I watch one, I'm like, no, this is not it. This isn't it. It's like, you know, Empire was a little more street.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't not the refinement of it all, which was fine. And then there was a British one I watched on Amazon, which was also I did just like about the hair care.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that one wasn't right. That one didn't read, and that one that was supposed to be about the Hamptons. I'm like, this is not how people of this caliber behave. Like, no, that's just not. There's no. The class isn't there. The refinement isn't there. The language isn't there. Like, you know. And also, as I'm also getting into writing too, I think I just have to write my own.
I was going to
project,
say
and I'm
the
working
reason
on
why it's not there is because first of all, you're right. You have to have a lived experience to even know that exists. And number two is because you haven't written it yet.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I am working on it for sure. But it's very true. Because it's like no one would really know because it's like the doors are closed for anybody to find out like what it really looks and feels like, to be honest. But a lot of it has to do with also learning how to flourish in the white world, because like your schooling and, you know, those communities, you're going in with like the elite of the white world, the Caucasian world as well. And that's very important to learn how to not only be, but also flourish. Because these are the kids you're competing with. These are the kids you're learning with. These are the kids you're growing with. Like, and that's a whole other stratosphere.
You have to write this.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I am working on it.
Is fashion still your passion?
Fashion, we're also doing big things in 2026 as well. I'm working on some more projects, I guess. But what I'm really coming to terms with is like, it's a legacy. This is going to be, the stuff I'm working on is a long burn. I'm building companies and empires and things of that nature. This is not just like, oh, here I am being cute, or here I am launching this stupid product, or, you know, selling some bullshit on Instagram. Like, I'm not that girl. Like, I really am interested in having powerful dialogues and creating meaningful companies that are actually really going to benefit, you know, everyone, not just, you know, the fashion community. But also, we don't have a queen. We don't have a reigning queen coming to talk to everybody, tell everybody what's cute, what's not cute, what's ugly, and what, you know, what works and what is not working. And I've been waiting and I've been praying for someone to come along for many years now. And then finally I looked at myself and I was like, bitch, I think it's you. And I'm like, damn it. Like, I don't want to do it, but
why not?
But no, I have to do it.
Okay. Thank you.
I have to do it. Yeah. We don't have anybody. Anna's out. Everyone's out.
Andre Leon Talley passed away.
I know. And like, I really wish, I'm like, girl, like if I could just like bring you back and give you the crown so then I don't have to do the work, like I'd rather that. But I think he's like, I think about him a lot. And like, I've read a lot of his books and read his, and, you know, his documentaries. And like, I feel like that bitch is like guiding me. Like, I'm feeling he's like, you gotta get to work, bitch. I'm like, all right, bitch, I'm doing it. But I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a talent. I actually bought one of his jackets at auction a couple years ago, right after he passed, and like it's one of my most prized possessions. I love it. It's really beautiful.
No, but the thing is this, I feel like this is your time and your season.
It is.
You know, you took when EJ in the City did not come back. What I love about you is there's not a thirsty bone in your body.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you allowed yourself to just like enjoy life and be a human. And I feel like in the past recent months, your Instagram is back activated. The photos that, yes, EJ, I'm on.
Thank you.
Honey, the photos. The portfolio you're building.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
That was my first goal, was to get a handle on that, because that's why I hated posting for so long. Because like, I did that. I was at the forefront when people were posting looks, and like I was at the beginning of that before it was even like a thing. It's like, so like I couldn't continue on just doing it to do it, and I wasn't going to compete with all these other these other bitches who think that they're bomb and they're not bomb, and like I just had to find a way to tell the story the way that I wanted to. And I was like, oh, well, what don't we have? Oh, we don't have a fabulous fashion magazine anymore because like, nobody reads. And, we don't have these magazines are not putting in the budget and the effort to create these beautiful magazines that we grew up with. And I was like, that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to make it very high editorial. All of the Harper's Bazaars and the Vogue shoots that I was obsessed with as a kid. And I'm going to tell the story and also show this highest version of myself through that lens that I've always loved. And that's where I kind of got on that. And so now I'm going to start adding video component. So now we'll do some more talking. We'll do some more, kind of showing and educating, because I think that's also very important. People are really missing the mark right now. Like, I'm glad everybody's at the table, social media, and the fact that like, everything kind of just blew up, and like, everyone's at the table with fashion. Because before, like, especially when I was like, moved here in 2010 in college and in the early blog days, it's like that door was like closed.
Yeah.
Like if you it was impossible. You had to get, an Anna Wintour or somebody to come and be like, oh, you can come in. But everyone was very like, oh no. And so now that all blew up and everyone's here, we have to start talking about dressing appropriately for everybody and finding what works for everybody, and, telling a different story, because, we're gender inclusive, we're body conscious and all of these things now, which is lovely. But like, let's start, finding the best version of ourselves and our best styles, which I think is being missed. Because nobody, I don't think, has the eye or the knowledge or the capability to really have those conversations.
You need to be the Met Gala.
I mean,
What was that?
it's such a circus right now. Like, oh my God, the outfits are so bad. Jesus Christ. But I told myself, I was like, should the invitation come, we can go just once, just to go. But it's really horrible. Like the red carpet. I know I'm like the only one who really like it looks at this with such a strong eye, but I'm like, I cannot.
But that's why we need you, because again, we don't. Again,
I know.
You have the eye.
I know.
And you need to be part of the committee.
I just can't with the Halloween costumes. Like, I'm really over it.
Not Halloween.
I'm really over it. No, it really is. It's like the Halloween parade. It's not cute. It's like, like take me back to like, Rihanna showing up in the giant yellow silk coat with the fur rim. Yes. Like that time when everyone was really doing it. Respect to that Met Ball.
What girl is doing it for you right now in the fashion department?
I have to give it only to myself, because like I'm the only girl. I swear I'm the only girl that I can gag myself. I'm sorry to everyone else. I can only give the crown to me. I'm very, very sad about that, because I wish I could. I really wish I could give it to somebody else. But like, honestly, like I'm the only person where I'm like, yes, bitch, you're really doing it. Like, even when I put this outfit together, I was like, yes.
Oh, that's everything. Like, why shall look at?
Like, I was like, I'm loving it.
You are a bad bitch.
I know. I mean, like, I have to give credit where credit is due. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, it's like I'm at the point where I'm kind of just like giving homage to when everybody was at their height. Like I'm not a person who's just like, oh God, like I hate that bitch because she never gets it right. But like I'm just like early Rihanna. Yes. Like 2010 to like 2017, like yes. Those looks I like to look back on. I like to look back on those looks a lot. They're great. And I mean, a lot of people talk a lot of shit about Kim and but she had that one period from like 2015 to like 2017 where, bless Kanye. I don't know what's going on with him, but when he was a part of it, the looks were great.
Can I tell you something? And this is me telling you the God's honest truth. I was literally talking to somebody maybe 2 months ago. And for some reason, one of Kim's looks came on my feed. And I went down the rabbit hole of these iconic looks that were ahead of its time. Like one time it was like a latex dress. And I'm just like, and it was hot pink. And I'm like, aviator glasses. And I'm like, wait a minute, this was like everything. And then I was like, oh, this is the Kanye era.
Yeah.
Who listen, I'm only talking about his genius in terms of like fashion with
No,
Kim.
I have to give the credit when it's due. And he really, and I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what's going on with him. I have no idea. I'm not, condoning any of the messaging that he's been putting out because it's been just ugly and crazy.
Yes.
But it is the loss of a great, it's almost like a passing. It is almost like a passing because he was an incredible eye for style. You really couldn't beat it. He had an incredible eye for style and fashion. You look at his looks, the looks he put her in at the time. Like, I mean, wow. Like, he really was brilliant. It is just, it's just a mourning of a loss, to be honest. It's just like, wow. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I had to co-sign that one.
Yeah.
I literally was talking about that recently.
Yeah, it's really that just like for her, it's just that one fashion week. Unfortunately, it was the fashion week she got robbed. But the looks of that fashion week.
I have to go back and look.
Dressed.
All right, so EJ, let the girls know what is next for you. How can they support you, follow you, all those things?
You can follow my Instagram. Keep your eye on me. Yeah, like I said, it's like there'll definitely be some acting moments coming very shortly. They've got video content coming in on the socials. Right now I just have Instagram, but I've been talking about adding like a TikTok and some other things. So I think that that's probably somewhere down the line as well. But yeah, totally keep involved. Because we're literally just getting started. Like there's just like so many fabulous things that like we're getting ready to do, and like both in the short term and the long term. So all the terms are covered.
Products, projects, the whole thing. You're not here for a short time, you're here for a long time.
Yeah.
And I love that about you. Like you're, again, I keep saying this, but I think in a world where people feel the need to just put themselves out there for the sake of being out there and afraid of being irrelevant, I love the fact that you're more focused on like building a foundation that lasts, even after years of you. And,
Yes.
and that's amazing.
Yes, I think right now the world is so focused on fast. Everyone, fast money, fast, it's all about like the people who are rich for a day or a year and then nothing, after that. And like, it just dawned on me because I'm coming up with a lot of amazing ideas. And I'm like, wow, a lot of these ideas are going to take some time, but like they're going to be massive. But it's like, that's when it dawned on me. I was like, oh, these are legacy things. These are empire things. These are things that are going to last a long time after you're gone. And also will be a gift, to humanity. Something you can just be like, here you go. Now I'm going to go do something else, or I'm going to retire. Or I'm going to, just go on with my life of being fabulous, with something that I can just be like, I created this and now I'm going to give it to the world and move on. But a lot of the stuff that I'm thinking about and a lot of the stuff that I've already put pen to paper and have started having early meetings on, it's very that.
Okay. Yes. EJ Johnson, y'all. Yay!
Yay!
What's up?